Gawai Daya Celebration 2023. Revised legislation to include new economy. And on global affairs, India train service resumes after deadly crash. Those are the headlines for tonight. You're now with me, Shol Shamarato, and this is TVS Nightline. Tonight, the celebration of Gawai Daya 2023 has just concluded, graced by the presence of the esteemed guests, the head of state of Sarawak, Tun Pahin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud, Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, and also the Prime Minister, Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim. The event is said to be adorned with the official Gawai toast ceremony and the showcase of Gawai Kumang and Keling. Now, our reporter Lorenzo Isaac has the details.
Thank you, studio. I'm Lorenzo Isaac reporting live from Borneo Convention Center, Kuching, where the Gawai Daya Celebration 2023 celebration is being held. And the theme for this year Gawai celebration is Gulai Sejalai, which means unity in diversity. So I will describe on this event, and the atmosphere here is electrifying as we witness the arrival of our distinguished guests, the head of state of Sarawak, the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, and the Prime Minister, Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who has graced us with their presence on this momentous day of celebration. So as the guests settle into their seats, anticipation has filled the air, and their significance of their attendance today highlight the profound cultural importance of the Gawai Daya festival. Now let's immerse ourselves in the rich tapestry of the Dayak culture through the captivating cultural performances that have been prepared for the celebration. The stage is alive for this momentous occasion, and so far that is all the updates that I have for today. We return to the studio. I'm Lorenzo Isaac and videographer Muhammad Rafiq, TVS Kuching.
Right, thank you, Lorenzo, for that update. And Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, calls upon Putrajaya to revise its legislation and to adapt and ensure its relevancy as the country partakes in the global green economy. He noted the shift towards a new economy is inevitable, and thus Malaysia needs to act quickly, especially in matters pertaining to carbon trading.
Saya serah kepada mereka lah.
Apa jawapannya sekarang?
Siapa? PM ni hanya kata, that's why PM selalu kata Sarawak tu advance. Supaya kita mesti negara Malaysia ke arah ekonomi baru, dan juga mesti ada ekonomi reform untuk menempatkan Malaysia supaya Malaysia dapat bersaing dengan negara-negara lain, khususnya negara luar.
He said this at a press conference after officiating the International Green Energy Symposium and Exhibition 2023 at the Centre of Technical Excellence Sarawak Centex on Wednesday. Abang Johari added Sarawak is already at the forefront towards a sustainable green economy by 2030 by exploring new resources such as hydrogen, solar, and most recently, algae. State-wise, he said the state attorney has been tasked to look into the matters in the state ordinance to facilitate its implementation.
Earlier today, Premier Sarawak Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng officially launched the solar testbed, which is developed, built and operated by the Centre of Technical Excellence Sarawak, or Centex. Integrated with battery storage systems, the testbed offers the flexibility to operate in a hybrid mode, both on and off the grid.
According to its chairman Tan Sri Dato' Muhammad Murshidi Abdul Ghani, the testbed comprises of a hydrogen systems which can then be utilized to power the 5G telecommunications system through a fuel cell that harnesses the chemical energy of hydrogen to produce electricity.
The combined solar testbed built on the rooftop and at the ground have a total installed capacity of 435 kilowatt peak, or 780 of the solar panel, which is the biggest rooftop solar system in Sarawak for now. The solar testbed is integrated with battery storage system to stimulate on-off grid operation.
He said this in his speech at the opening of the International Green Energy Symposium and Exhibition 2023 on Wednesday. He also added the testbed is designed to facilitate a better understanding of the challenges and requirements involved in deploying solar and battery energy storage systems in green hydrogen production. On a larger scale, this initiative provides an innovative platform in a real-time experience essential for the development of training programs.
With relevant hands-on training on the testbed, Centex aims to foster digital talent in various use cases from solar to energy storage and green hydrogen as government is to transform into a major player in the hydrogen economy by 2027.
On to the next update. One of the train services involved in a triple collision in India's deadliest railway disaster for decades resumed journeys on Wednesday as officials revised the death toll up to 288. The Coromandel Express service was one of 3 trains involved in the crash near Balasore in the eastern state of Odisha on Friday.
While trains began operating late Sunday past the crash site, Wednesday's journey is the first service of the Coromandel Express to resume the route. India's railway minister said the crash happened due to the change that occurred during electronic interlocking, a technical term for a complex signal system designed to stop trains colliding. Meanwhile, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said no one responsible would be spared. Odisha's authorities said at least 1,175 people were injured, with many of them in critical condition and still being treated in hospital. The revised toll came after deaths were tallied from both hospitals and mortuaries and noted that 83 bodies remain unidentified. Medical scientists were overwhelmed by the number of casualties, and there are fears that the death toll could rise further. India has one of the world's largest rail networks and has seen several disasters over the years. The worst in 1981, when a train derailed while crossing a bridge in Bihar and plunged into a river below, killing 800 people. The Balasore crash is India's 3rd worst and the deadliest since 1995, when more than 300 people died as trains collided in Firozabad near Agra.
The prefabricated, pre-finished volumetric construction method can help reduce the country's dependence on foreign workers in the construction industry. Works Minister Dato Sri Alexander Nandalingi said that the method could also attract youth in this country to be trained to become skilled workers due to the more comfortable work environment.
Peningkatan tenaga kerja berkemahiran bukan sahaja memainkan peranan penting di dalam perkembangan industri pembinaan, malah ia juga dapat menarik pelaburan asing, sekaligus meningkatkan peluang pekerjaan di dalam negara.
He said this to reporters after witnessing the Memorandum of Understanding MOU signing ceremony between the Construction Industry Development Board CIDB and the Malaysian Resources Corporation Berhad MRCB today. PPVC is a method where 3D models are assembled, complete with internal finishing in the factory before being delivered and installed on site, which can reduce 70 to 80% of construction work. According to Nanta, Malaysia needs about 400,000 construction workers and still depends on foreign labor because of the work environment that is less preferable by the locals. Meanwhile, MRCB Executive Vice President Dato Sri Dr. Judin Abdul Karim said the PPVC method is considered more advanced than the Industrial Building System or IBS.
Coming up right after the break, Parliament highlights higher wages key to higher productivity and at least 42,000 displaced by dam flood in Ukraine. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Plastic, dubbed a miracle invention due to its durability and versatility, has made our lives substantially easier. However, the downside, managing plastic waste, has become one of the planet's biggest problems. Although solutions to plastic pollution can be mitigated through an effective and comprehensive campaign.
Lauding the initiative by non-governmental organization NGO in the efforts to raise awareness among Malaysians on the issue of plastic pollution, President of Sarawak Eco Warriors Mark Liao suggested a holistic and consistent long-term plan is needed to ensure the success of the campaign.
I think when we think about consistency in getting people together, we cannot see it as a one-off, a one project. I think the way we have to go about it would be having a step-by-step basis. For number one, we get together, we discuss what's the plan, and if the plan fails or succeeds, what do we do after that? And it continues on and on and on, and that's how we build relationship. That's how we build working groups that actually know what they can do, and they can actually contribute further in the larger picture.
He also added that the dependency on plastic can only be resolved with a strong willpower empowered among the local community. Liao further stressed that every individual plays a crucial role in championing the initiative with relevant agencies to end plastic pollution.
To beat plastic pollution, we really need everyone involved. It cannot be just one organization, one authority, because at the end of the day, conservation work or plastic management, it crosses boundaries. It involves many different. It involves everyone.
Plastic pollution is a critical issue, especially in Malaysia. Apart from that, irresponsible disposal of plastic waste is also one of the main factors for environmental pollution. According to a report published by WWF Malaysia, post-consumer plastic waste generation in Malaysia is estimated to be more than 1 million tons.
Salary is an apparent issue among the younger generation. Despite having steady foreign investments, the Deputy Minister of Human Resources, Mustafa Sakwut, said the lack of attention in offering better wage lead to the lack of human resources and unemployment.
Isu yang kita hadapi sekarang ini ialah tentang masalah gaji di kalangan belia. Dan saya fikir inilah sedang dibincangkan oleh pelbagai kementerian bahawa kita sedang menuju kepada gaji progresif. Dan kita harap dengan kerajaan baharu ini, Malaysia Badan ini, pelaburan akan datang ke negara ini dan kita akan meningkatkan ekonomi kita dan kita boleh meminta supaya majikan-majikan kita memperhalusi dan mengambil kira perkembangan ekonomi ini dan memastikan bahawa pekerja kita, terutama anak-anak belia, generasi muda akan mendapat gaji yang lebih baik. Ini penting. Yang saya mau tekankan sekali lagi bahawa kestabilan politik itu penting. Kita perlu kerajaan yang stabil untuk memastikan bahawa nasib anak muda kita terbela untuk masa depan. Sekian, terima kasih.
Mustafa said this when answering a supplementary question from Payak Besar MP Datuk Muhammad Shahar Abdullah at the Dewan Rakyat on government steps and offering decent wages among the younger generation. At the same time, he ensures that the government will continue to plan and implement various initiatives across ministries and agencies in a bid to reduce the unemployment rate among youth in the urban and rural areas.
The agri-commodity sector in the industry lead body has successfully produced 2,500 trainees in the palm sector as of 2022. And of the total, 860 secured jobs in the plantation sector, while the remaining are attached in other sectors.
Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof said these are among the proactive actions that the ministry has undertaken in ensuring a skilled or semi-skilled workforce in order to meet the needs of the industry.
Kementerian Peladangan dan Komoditi juga telah menubuhkan Institusi Peladangan dan Komoditi Malaysia, iaitu singkatannya IMPAK, yang merupakan institusi induk berperanan untuk menerajui serta menelaras kursus dan program latihan kemahiran pusat latihan agensi-agensi di bawah satu organisasi yang melibatkan Lembaga Minyak Sawit Malaysia ataupun MPOB Lembaga Getah Malaysia ataupun LGM, Lembaga Perindustrian Kayu Malaysia MTIB, Lembaga Koko Malaysia LKM, Lembaga Lada Malaysia MPB dan juga Lembaga Kenaf dan Tembakau Negara ataupun LKTN.
Explaining further, he said the ministry and agencies will continue to provide cross-agency cooperation to attract the interest of the youth in the plantation sector, including entrepreneurship, career paths, and real life in the plantation sector. This, he said, will reduce the dependence of the plantation sector on foreign workers. He said this in response to a question from Pasir Salak MP Jamaluddin Yahya on the ministry's initiative in attracting the interest of the younger generation to venture the plantation field, at the same time overcome issues of dependency on foreign labor in Malaysia. In a bid to reduce the dependency on foreign labor, the palm oil industry is taking a long-term view towards resolving the root cause of the deep-seated foreign labor dependence issue by investing in automation. In view of that, Fadilah reiterated that his ministry will continue to increase efforts to create job opportunities in the plantation and agriculture sector among local people.
Cuma cabarannya sentiasa dalam bidang 3D, itu utamanya bidang harvester ataupun yang mengambil buah, itu menjadi cabaran. Sektor swasta masih bergantung dengan pekerja asing, khususnya pekerja-pekerja dari Indonesia yang memang mahir dan daya tahan mereka agak tinggi. Sebab itu menjedari akan hakikat ini, kita dah menubuhkan markop yang membuat kajian untuk kita tingkatkan dalam usaha supaya otomasi dan juga mekanisasi ini dapat dipertingkatkan dalam sektor pertanian. Di sini diharapkan akan dapat menarik lebih ramai orang-orang muda terlibat bersama. Sudah diadakan hasilannya, tetapi masih perlu dipertingkatkan.
He was replying to a supplementary question from Semporna MP Dato Sri Shafi'i Abdal on the government's approach in reducing dependency on foreign labor.
Thank you for staying with me. An estimated 40,000 people are at risk from flooding following the destruction of the Nova Kakhovka Dam on Tuesday, which inundated 24 villages and triggered a humanitarian disaster. The damaged reservoir unleashed a deluge, adding the misery for thousands of people who have been caught on the front lines of the war between Ukraine and Russia.
Floodwaters in southern Ukraine were expected to peak on Wednesday. Ukrainian authorities said 17,000 people were being evacuated and a total of 24 villages had been flooded. The UN Security Council held an emergency meeting on Tuesday following requests from both Russia and Ukraine. The UN warned that hundreds of thousands could be affected on both sides of the front line. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said that the destruction of the dam was another devastating consequence of Russia's invasion of its neighbor.
But one thing is clear. This is another devastating consequence of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And we are seeing the effects in the city of Kherson, the town of Nova Kakhovka, and 80 other towns and villages along the Dnipro River. Massive flooding, large-scale evacuations, environmental devastation, destruction of newly planted crops. And that is threats to the highly threatened Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, Europe's largest nuclear facility.
Ukraine accused Russia of an ecological and technological act of terrorism, while Russia described it as an act of sabotage carried out by the Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky decried the bursting of the Nova Kakhovka Dam as an environmental bomb of mass destruction and said only liberating the entire country could guarantee against new terrorist acts, adding that the destruction would not stop Ukraine as well as the Ukrainians.
Четверте, увесь світ знатиме про цей російський злочин війни, злочин екоциду. Таке свідоме знищення російськими окупантами дамби та інших споруд ГЕС є екологічною бомбою масового ураження заради власної безпеки.
He added that the attack would also affect irrigation systems in southern Ukraine, which will lead to drought and crop failures. Kyiv believed the destruction of the dam was an attempt by Moscow to hamper its long-awaited offensive. Russia, on the other hand, said the dam was partially destroyed by multiple strikes from Ukrainian forces and urged the world to condemn Kyiv's criminal acts.
A man armed with 4 handguns killed 2 people and wounded 5 others when he fired into a crowd outside a high school graduation ceremony in Richmond, Virginia, USA on Tuesday. Police have arrested one suspect, a 19-year-old man who knew one of the victims and shot at him amidst a crowd that had just emerged from the high school's commencement ceremony inside a theater on the campus of Virginia Commonwealth University.
The suspect fled the scene on foot and was captured in possession of 4 handguns, 3 of which may have been fired. The suspect was likely to be charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder in addition to other offenses. Police called the shooter's behavior disgusting and cowardly, since his dispute appeared to be with just one person. According to police, the deceased were men aged 18 and 36. Among the wounded, a 31-year-old man suffered life-threatening injuries, and 4 other males aged 14, 32, 55, and 58 were expected to survive. In addition, a 9-year-old girl was struck by a car in the chaos that ensued, and multiple other people were injured in falls or suffered from anxiety. The United States has grown accustomed to mass shootings in public places such as schools, shopping centers, and churches. According to the Gun Violence Archive, the mass shooting was the country's 279th in the first 157 days of 2023, using the definition of 4 or more people are shot and killed in a single incident, not including the shooter.
The Rainforest World Music Festival returns from the 23rd to the 25th of June. Now don't miss out on the exciting activities and lineup by grabbing your tickets at rwmf.net. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Shal Shamato. Thank you for watching.